But hey, listen, nonetheless, it was a hit song, right? So you can't take
Mhm.
anything because how many hit songs have I had?
Wah, wah,
Wah, wah,
wah.
yeah. Oh, wrong one. Big goose egg of hit songs. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown. We are so happy that you can join us all again today, whether you're watching us on our live feed or you are checking out the replay of this wherever you get podcasts, or YouTube, or any of those other spots.
All the places.
Once again, we've got another really fun show all lined up for you today. If this is your first time finding the Song Swap Showdown, formerly known as the Chris and Amanda Show, I do want to point out, because maybe you listened to the first two seasons of the show and you're like, wait a second, you guys keep saying the Chris and Amanda Show, Chris and Amanda Show. Well, yes, it was the Chris and Amanda Show, but as of January of 2023, in this year of our Lord, we have changed the name to Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown. So that is the name of the show. Also, if this is your first time, though, checking out the Song Swap Showdown, well, the show pretty much works like this. I pick 3 songs, Amanda picks 3 songs, and then we swap them. You see how that works? You see how I did? We swap them with each other, and we listen to them, and we have a great discussion about them here on the show, and then we rate them on a sliding scale of 1 to 5 records, with 1 being a complete dumpster fire and 5 being heaven to our ears, and being on that infinitely amazing playlist lists.
Got that right.
If you're like me, I have like 200 something playlists on Spotify. It's too easy. It's too easy to make the
I know.
playlist.
I'll never get to Chris status with my list.
It's it's like making the mixtape and the CD mix and all that, like back in the day, and now it's just too easy. Now it's just like boop, 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 boop.
Full confession, I did not even have a Spotify account until we started our show.
Yeah, I know that, actually, because I remember being like, oh, do this on Spotify, and you're like, wait, what? I don't even have Spotify. You're like, I don't use Spotify, I use Pandora. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but
however, Amanda, it's 2020.
Yeah.
Let's
I mean,
work on this.
You don't have to use Spotify, but, it's like
when you
easy.
know better, you do better.
Exactly. The more you know, the more you know.
Absolutely. And now I'm an avid Spotify user.
You are. You're a Spotify user. You are. So, Amanda, as we do every week at the show, we usually pick a theme, so something for us to work under, so we can pick the songs that we want to choose. So what is this week's theme that we decided on?
This week's theme is something that is so fun because it is one-hit wonders, which who doesn't love a one-hit wonder?
One-hit wonder! Yeah!
I mean, they're one-hit wonders for the very reason they captivated us. They became that hit, and then there was no then.
And then there was no then. Yeah, I mean, I will say that, some one-hit wonders, like, it's a loose term, right? Because you doesn't mean the band is first of all, I just want to say, it doesn't mean the band is bad or the artist is bad or anything. It just means that they had their moment in the sun for that one hit. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't have other great songs in their catalog. We're just talking about in the sincere fact that they maybe made the Billboard Top 10 or the Billboard 20 or whatever. But like they had their moment in the sun for, like, whether it was the summer or, I don't know, a full year or even a couple weeks. I don't know. But it's like, that's the one hit wonders that we're talking about. So I know some people may be like, well, they had more hits. Well, they had they had other songs. They had songs, and it doesn't mean that the band was bad. But when we talk about mainstream audiences, they're pretty much known by the one song. Play the ones when they go play live. Play the one song. That one song. That's, you know.
And let's be clear. Chris and I would both be very satisfied with having a one-hit wonder.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I mean, would be thrilled if we had a one-hit wonder.
Thrilled. We are not knocking one-hit wonders.
No.
We would gladly accept that status.
I wouldn't mind living off the spoils of one song for the rest of my life. Like, fine.
Right? Fine. That's right. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to work smarter and not harder?
Exactly. Exactly.
So we're not criticizing a one-hit wonder. In fact, we're thanking them for these songs.
Yes, 100%.
And I think, Chris, you pulled some really great one-hit wonders from your list. And mine is very Amanda-ish.
Yours is very Amanda.
And I went country, as Amanda often does.
Right, but that's your lane.
Right.
That's what you listen to. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So, Chris, I'm really itching to get into your first song because it may be my favorite of the list.
I thought it might be, and so once again, you know, keeping with the theme of the episode. So, and we know these are one-hit wonders, so sometimes it's hard because it's like they were played everywhere, you know. So let me ask you this: had you ever heard this version of the song?
I absolutely did. Okay, and so when it went on your list, when you sent it to me, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the song. And when I typed in the credential, sure enough, it was. And it came out in that time of Amanda's young adulthood. And so I would have had to been living under a rock to have not heard this song, which we all know Amanda has lived under rocks, and missed very popular songs, but this one I had heard before and I dig it.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, let's you know what? Let's get into this.
Woo! Listen to that.
Alien Ant Farm's version of Smooth Criminal.
It's good.
I like that you like this. I wasn't sure. But this just goes to show your growth as a music connoisseur.
Yeah, there is something about the edge of this version of it that I really appreciate. And because this is an edgy song originally.
Yeah, I agree. For a Michael Jackson song, this was definitely an edgier one.
Yeah, so they took it to this place that at the time when it came out and I liked it, it wasn't super overwhelming.
No.
There's not really yelling or anything in it. It's just a really fast-paced boom, boom, boom version of Smooth Criminal, which somehow I wrote on my list Smoth Criminal, like SOMTH, like it's a sloth or something.
A sloth criminal?
Sloth Criminal. I mean, and if anyone's seen a sloth, there's no way a sloth can be a criminal because darn, they're cute.
Sloth. It's like that. What was that movie with the animals? And they're like, and the sloth was in like the DMV or something like that.
What a perfect character to play that particular scene.
I know.
And it just, it's great. So to think of a sloth during this very fast-paced Smooth Criminal is really funny.
Yeah, you know what? So this is a band that, like, I'm not gonna say I was an Alien Ant Farm fan at all. Like, I didn't even know who they were until this song came out. And I thought the video was funny. I think it's a really good take on the song. Like, it is a dark song to begin with. And I thought that they just brought a whole level, obviously punked it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, this was came out during like the time of that quote unquote new metal, whatever, you know, if you want to call it new metal, NU. And so they sort of fit in a little bit with that sound, I guess. And I always liked it. It's always been on a playlist of mine. When I go to, whenever there's a jukebox around at a bar or whatever, I usually put this in my rotation because, you know, people get it and people are like, oh,
they do.
And everybody knows the song. And it's not like they changed it. So they changed it enough to like kind of make it their own sound. But yeah, like everybody, like the whole verse and the chorus and you know, it's Smooth Criminal.
Very much so. And they just edged it up.
They definitely edged it up. So this song actually, so this is pretty much the one. So when we talk about one hit wonders, right? So this is pretty much the song that the band is known for. Like, so, you know, once again, Not that Alien Ant Farm didn't have other songs and all that, but when you talk about mainstream, like notoriety, this is the song that they're known for. So, funny enough, though, the song wasn't like a top 10 hit, but it was in the top 23. So, ranked number 23 on the US charts. However, in the UK, it charted at number 3 in the UK.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, our friends over in the UK really liked the song enough that it made it to number 3. And this was actually not even their first single off this record. Their first single was the song Movies, which I like that song. I've heard that song, but it wasn't the first song I had heard by Alien Ant Farm either. That was actually like the second song I'd heard. This was definitely the first song. But basically what happened is the Los Angeles radio station KROQ, K-Rock, started playing Smooth Criminal instead of their first single, Movies, which led to a great deal of exposure and prompted them to release it as a single. Movies, the song Movies, was re-released later to take advantage of their new fame. This song was included on their first album, which was released on an independent label. When they were signed with a big record company, they included it on their first major label release, Anthology. So he said over the years, Alien Ant Farm had played a lot of quirky covers over the years, and when they started, they tried to play different covers at every show. Some of the bands they covered would be Weezer, Bad Brains, The Police, and Sade. But it's funny. They actually, so there's a little bit here from Song Facts, is that the video does poke fun at Michael Jackson, but they made sure to get his permission and keep it lighthearted. Some of the musical cliches that they make fun of are Bubbles the Chimp and the Moonwalk. When Michael Jackson saw the video, he asked that the scene with the boy in a surgical mask be removed because it made fun of his medical condition. They took it out, but Jackson decided he liked it the way it was, and in the end, there were 2 videos, one with the mask and one without. This song was nominated for a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Song.
Look at that. One-hit wonders doing wonders.
Unbelievable. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I like it. I really like. Are we rating these songs this week?
We are rating them, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to say Smooth Criminal, Alien Ant Farm, which what a name. What a name for a band. Yeah. Cracks me up. AAF.
AAF.
I put Michael Jackson's version at a 5. Okay. And so to make this song a 5, even though it was a one-hit wonder and it did wonderful things and it has a presence, very strong presence, it's not a 5 to me. But it's certainly a 4 record song.
4 records. All
4
right.
records. I appreciate this. It takes me back to like nowhere. That probably doesn't make sense. So let me explain.
Yeah. Well, this was released in 2001, so it might take you back to those early times.
It was, but it doesn't take me, as we know, Amanda usually has some sort of story that goes along with the song, and it takes me back to a very specific time in Amanda's life where this song doesn't really do that. It just takes me back to nothing. It just makes me sing it.
Okay.
So it's weird to me. So it has a thumbprint in my life, but it's not necessarily with an event or a story. So 4 records, it's good. Alien Ant Farm, well done.
All right. Well, there you go, Alien Ant Farm. You have the approval of one Amanda Sharp, who likes your version of Smooth Criminal, albeit it's 1 record less than the original version, but still not bad considering it's coming from Amanda Sharp.
Agreed. And the original version...
You won the heart and mind of Amanda Sharp.
Absolutely. And the original version is by a master of music. So it's hard to get to the same level.
Yeah. I mean, I think that as far as covers go, it's a good version. It's fun. And it's fun to listen to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good alternative. All right. Well, very good. So 4 records for Alien Ant Farm's Smooth Criminal by the one and only Amanda Sharp. All right. Moving in to your first song to me this week is the Wilkinsons with 26 Cents. So I said, boy, if this isn't an Amanda song.
She sat on the
100% an Amanda Sharp song.
And you know what? This song had kind of fell off my radar. And Ashley Feller is actually listening to us now. She's saying, hey, y'all, good morning. And so is Mark Ronick. And so I forget the question that you posed in our Facebook group. Shameless plug for our Facebook group over there.
Yes.
You asked them a question like whether it was a song that grounded you or made you feel better during certain times. And Ashley actually mentioned this song. And I go, oh my gosh, I had forgotten all about it. And so that's how this is on this list.
Well, so I had, shocker, I had never heard this before. However you want to take this next comment is up to you. I definitely feel like this is a song I would hear, like, you know, shopping in Target or Walmart or someplace like that. Maybe
it probably did.
Maybe J.C. Penney. I don't know.
Is J.C. Penney's? Yes, J.C. Penney's.
Yes, I was just in J.C. Penney yesterday, suit shopping. So yes, I never heard 26 cents before. So this was new experience for me.
He's got a new experience
as far as the song goes. But I will tell you, so this song was released in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like the song had a 90s feel to it. And you know how I always say, I sometimes struggle trying to identify where country songs are, like fall into decades. And so I was like, but this, I felt like, I think this is in the 90s. So I pleasantly surprised myself by finding out it was released in 1998. And on top of that, they are a Canadian band. They are Canadian. So, and you know what? It's hard because I don't often think about like our friends from up north releasing a lot of country music, but there are, and we've actually showcased a lot of them on the show. So I'm still, you know, I always feel like the country artists came from the same, like, you know, few states here in America, but like, you know, but our friends up north also have done a really good job producing, like, for sure, country inspired music. So this was actually went to number 1 for 1 week.
Which by definition makes it a one-hit wonder. Just want to be very clear.
Absolutely makes it a one-hit wonder. They are a family trio that were founded in 1997, consisting of father Steve Wilkinson and his children Amanda and Tyler Wilkinson. Amanda.
That's my.
What, you're a Wilkinson?
No, just Amanda.
Okay, just Amanda.
Yeah.
The band signed to Giant Records and soon recorded their debut album, Nothing But Love. While all their music would be quite successful in their native Canada, their debut hit was their first single and their biggest hit south of the border. And all of this information is coming from countryuniverse.net. So the Wilkinsons were the 4th Canadian country act to score their first number 1 hit in as many years, following Shania Twain, Paul Brandt, and Terry Clark. They hit the scene with a perfect single to showcase their familia or family harmonies. I don't know if that's a typo. So this goes on. I'll just say, you know, 26 cents basically is, it said, it goes on this joke about there used to be this thing called cell pay phones. And at the time of the song's release, they usually cost a quarter. The song is built around the touching idea of a mom's farewell letter to her daughter, who moved out on her own. The letter includes a penny for your thoughts and a quarter for the call should she get lonely and want to reconnect with her mom. What a lovely backstory. Or
call
like
your mamas.
Call your mom.
Call your mamas.
Call your mom. This was a band that literally left their mother behind as they hit the road, made the song all the more endearing, which I'm sure was what their father was aware of when writing it. It's not quite sitting 26 years later, but in 2022, it gives me all the feels. Even communicating technology hasn't held up as well as the sentimental lyric behind it. This earned the Wilkinsons a gold record in the United States and Canada for Nothing But Love. The album's second single, Fly, the Angel song, went to number 1 in Canada and top 15 in America. The band would only score one more top 40 single in 1999. Jimmy's Got a Girlfriend from their second album. So thank you very much, countryuniverse.net, for this, because I was trying to find some information about the song and this came up right away. So my thoughts on the song. So it is a very sweet and endearing song. It definitely, you know, you get a little emotional about it, but the quality of the song itself, It's my cup of tea, and I'm all for a soft ballad and all that. This just didn't do it for me in a sense of, I don't know, I wasn't latching onto it. I thought the lyrics were sweet and very sentimental. I definitely get the story behind it. I don't necessarily know if this would be a go-to for me. But hey, listen, nonetheless, it was a hit song, right? So you can't take anything, because how many hit songs have I had?
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, yeah. Oh, wrong one. Big goose egg of hit songs. So kudos to the Wilkinsons for even scoring a number one hit, and then also going on and actually having some other hits. So for me, though, I would give this song, my personal taste is that it's going to get 3 records.
Okay,
Now, I can't give it 2 because, listen, it's a hit, and I don't think the song is awful. It just isn't mine. Would I skip it is the next question. If I'm not in the mood to hear something like this, I'm going to skip it. Because it's a little, I think you got to be in a mood. You know what I'm saying?
This is a mood.
Yeah, this is a mood. And this is probably, for some people, like their warm blanket of a song. And I get it. I absolutely get it. I think we all have our warm blanket songs. By the way, that's another good theme for a show. Warm blanket songs. Warm, comfy blanket songs. It wasn't mine. So I'm giving it 3. I'm going to give it 3 records.
It could have been worse. So I received your 3 records.
Yeah, I can't give it 2 because 2 to me starts dipping into like the song's bad quality, and I don't think it's a bad quality.
Uptown Girl quality.
Yeah. This song's not corny, unlike Uptown Girl, which is totally corny.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Oh, Chris. Hey, 3 records.
Hey, it's 3 records.
A very sentimental, very country sounding song. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I receive it.
You're receiving my 3 records?
I'm receiving them.
Kind of reluctantly, but you're receiving them.
I'm receiving it because it's very niched. It's very, very niche. So, but hey, it was a one-hit wonder, and they did do some other successful-ish things, but definitely this is their song. Their song.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, Chris. Your second song. To Be With You by Mr. Big.
Uh-oh.
Listen.
Hold on, little girl.
Oh.
Show me what
Gosh, who did not listen to that song and feel it?
Come on.
I mean, even if you weren't in a moment of this type of feeling, you pretended you were.
Absolutely. Come on.
You fell into this. Yes.
This is a song that I wish I could sing like this because I want to sing it really good at karaoke, but it doesn't come out like that. In my head, it sounds great. In real life, it's like,
This has so many. I know it has so much fun element to it. But it's so passionate. This song digs deep. And you can hear it. You can feel it. You feel it with like a fist almost. And again, whether you're in the moment of really going through something like this or not, you magically are like transported to that scene.
Yeah. 100%. Mark Ronick checking in with great song, Chris. Thank you, Mark.
You feel it. Like, Mark, didn't you feel this song?
You would hear it, little girl.
Yeah, and what a line.
I know.
Broken heart can't be that bad. Like, but. I know. Oh, it's classic. This is, why didn't they produce more better songs?
So they did. But once again, if we're talking about the definition of one-hit wonders, right? Right. One-hit wonders being not necessarily that the band didn't produce a lot of great songs and a lot of awesome music, but just that a song broke through, like really broke through.
Right, which you would think by default would help other songs great. I guess I do think one-hit wonders are very interesting because there's the one-hit wonders that are really that, and like there were no other good songs.
Yeah.
Sometimes, right? But other times you just go, man, you would have really thought that would escalate. I guess, but when you go viral, it doesn't mean that you stay viral.
No, it's not. It doesn't always mean that. And oftentimes, too, what happens is, and this is in the case of Mr. Big, is that this song, as great of a song as it is, does not sound like typical Mr. Big stuff. Like, Mr. Big is a rock band, definitely from the 80s, like hard rock band. I wouldn't call them metal, but like they're a hard rock band.
Sure.
And they really like they're all virtuosos. I mean, Billy Sheehan, the bass player, is one of the greatest bass players. Like, you would have to really listen to some of their other stuff. It's fun. It's rocking. Paul Gilbert, guitar player, awesome. Eric Martin, who sings, obviously you can tell he's got a great voice. They are all like, basically it's a band of all players who are like the best at what they do. And this band was sort of what you would call a super group back in the day. This was off their second record, Lean Into It. And this wasn't even the first single on the record. They kind of didn't even really like the song. They actually made it the last song on the record. And they reluctantly sort of released it. And of course, there you go. Blew up. It actually reached number 1 on the US charts and number 3 in the UK. And released in 1991, right on the cusp of, Nirvana really blowing the doors open and kind of putting the nail in the coffin for a lot of these bands that were kind of like in the mid to late 80s, like doing the hard rock thing. And then, and this was like the year right before, like a lot of these bands were basically like, yeah, that's not a radio hit anymore. Like, that's not cutting through. But yeah, this is a great song. So just, the story behind it, though, the true story behind the song, as according to songfacts.com, is Mr. Big lead singer Eric Martin wrote the song when he was still a teenager. He was 16 or 17 in his estimation.
Cute.
And the girl was Patricia Reynolds, and he had it bad for her, as he said. He said, we were really, really, really good friends. I was totally enamored with this woman. She was beautiful, smart. I mean, brains, beauty, break down the walls, made me crawl on my belly like a reptile. I just love this woman, but she just wanted to be my friend. She friend zoned him. We have tons of boyfriends. She'd have tons of boyfriends, and maybe she misconstrued my promiscuity for love, but I wanted to be the knight in shining armor. That's what I was, a knight in shining armor. But basically, I didn't get my feet wet. I wrote it about how I would have done anything just to be more than a friend and a confidant.
This is sad.
Guys, talking to all these guys, you guys all know who you are out there. We've all been there. We've all been there. This is a tale as old as time. Friend zone.
Hey, but let's remember, Marcus was my friend first, and he broke that barrier.
Broke that barrier. He broke it. Broke you down.
He regrets that decision every single day. But he broke it.
Yeah. Now, it's hard to say that I will say, though, they did. Now, anybody who's a real Mr. Big fan out there, actually, like, they did a follow-up to the song, which is another great song off this record, was called Just Take My Heart, and it actually did crack the top 20. It went to number 16. But as far as a number 1 hit, this is like their only number 1 hit. Like, number 1 hit.
Recognizable, like,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a classic.
Yeah. They Eric Martin completed the song. He wrote the song with Dave Graham, a songwriter that he had collaborated with. And Graham was in a Beatlemania show, and he played with Paul McCartney. He said he played the song for Paul McCartney. The cassette demo made Martin. Oh, sorry. He wrote a song. The cassette demo Martin had made of "To Be With You" was in a folk vein. When Graham heard it, he thought of the Beatles song "Give Peace a Chance," which uses spare and improv percussion and group chorus. He suggested they do something similar to "Be With You," and it worked, giving the song a distinct sound that draws out the story. So always goes back to the Beatles.
It really does.
Always goes back to the Beatles.
To the music industry. I mean, we love them, so we're not surprised. But
Right.
Great song, Chris. I honestly had forgotten about this song. And even when I looked at the name, it didn't click until I pressed the play button. And I was
Right.
like, oh my, this is so magical. So I was so happy that you put this song, because this needs to be on my playlist. And it just wasn't, because I had forgotten about it.
Yeah, it's a great song. And that's the thing too, right? We oftentimes, with you just said it, like one hit wonders, we do forget about them because I mean, this song was released in 91. I mean, I remember you couldn't go anywhere without hearing every radio station played it because they were a rock band. So you heard it still in all the rock stations, and then all the mainstream pop stations then picked it up and they were playing it, including like Late FM and all those. Like, this was a true crossover song that just about it crossed all genres in that sense. And so it was everywhere and anywhere for like pretty much that full year. And then Nirvana happened.
Fair, very fair. But this I think still holds up. I think the music of it holds up. The words of it holds up. When you turn it on, you can't help but start belting it and feel it. So I might be a little off with this rating, but I'm gonna say it. I'm giving this a 5 record. I may have some people who disagree with me and say this is not a 5 record song, because I'm almost doubting myself, but I feel it in my gut. This is a 5 record song.
Wow. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you because it's such a great quality song. And I actually, you know what I used to always think when this came out too, is I used to be like, man, could you have pictured like Janis Joplin singing this song? Like, this could have been a Janis Joplin song, like as well as a beat, like, but like, because he's got his vocals and Janis's vocals are like that raspy, like it's really good.
And maybe that's why I feel it so much. I'm not sure. Dave,
wait a second. Hold the phone, Dave.
Hold the "To Be With You."
Dave Mattingly, who, like, when I put this question in our Facebook group, listed about 300, well, not really 300, but he listed a giant list of one-hit wonder songs. Wow. All right,
he's
Dave.
saying, I never heard that Mr. Big song before. Dave.
Wow. Shocked.
I'm truly shocked.
Dave knows everything.
I never thought the day would come.
Dave knows everything.
So you're going to have to let us know, Dave, what you think when you listen to this song in its entirety. Yeah. I would love to know how you rate this song, Dave. So if you wouldn't mind doing a little homework for us and getting back to us, that would be phenomenal.
That would be phenomenal. Thank you.
So I gave it 5 records, but I also have this history with it that I think lands me at the 5 records. I don't know if I just heard it in the very first time, if I would have landed on a 5 record.
Right. Well, I'm glad you put it in the okay. In the early 90s, I was listening to other things. Nope.
Fair,
Dave. Very fair. Very fair. Mr. Big was totally on my radar. I remember I got this record when it came out because I was a Mr. Big fan already. So when this was released, I was like, oh, cool, second Mr. Big record. And I got it and I loved it. And then I remember the song being on there. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, it was a nice way to close the album, because it's a and lo and behold, boom, release it as a single, and it, as a second single, I think, actually. I don't even think it was the second or third. Yeah, it was only issued as a single after radio stations started playing it, actually. So the first single was the song Green Tinted 60s Mind, which I love that song too. But doesn't sound like To Be With You.
Never know what's going to go.
Exactly.
Put it out there. Just put it out there, people.
Gotta put it out there. So, all right. Well, 5 records. So far you've given me a 4 record and a 5 record rating on my 2 picks. I'm feeling a little confident. Feeling a little confident. So before we dive into your second song to me, I do want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsor, Campsite.bio. Now, if you're a regular listener of the show, you know that we absolutely love Campsite.bio. We talk them up big time. And not only do we just talk them up and that they're a sponsor of the show, but we've also been active users of Campsite.bio for pretty much over a year. I absolutely love it. I know Amanda's gotten to love it as well and has used it. And literally, if you are looking for a place to convert more followers into customers, with a link in your bio tool that is pretty much created just for you, well, campsite.bio is absolutely it. If you want all kinds of integrations, campsite.bio has it. You want to integrate your YouTube channel, your Spotify playlist like we do. If you are a content creator, you literally can put links to all your different projects, all your different ways to support you. And by the way, Amanda, I don't know if you knew this. Now being content creators, like we have our campsite, we have our Buy Me a Coffee, other ones have Patreon, but you know what? You can actually add a tip jar right onto your campsite.bio.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. So if you want to tip a creator for being such an awesome creator for all the work they do, you can actually integrate that into your campsite.bio. But guess what? You don't have to just be a content creator to use it. Pretty much anybody can use it, whether you're a brand manager, a marketing director, somebody involved in running multiple accounts for your business. That is 100% the way to go. Campsite.bio, completely customizable. You can build it to fit your brand. You can put the colors in. You can do all kinds of stuff. And you can also integrate all kinds of tracking behind the scenes, lift up that hood, integrate away. It is great. And I can't say enough great things about it. I mean, for us, like I said, we are personally using it. And not only do we have our show, Song Swap Showdown, on it, but I have my own personal business stuff on it. I have a couple trade organizations that I'm a member of also running their accounts. I have clients on campsite.bio. So very multifaceted. Absolutely love it. Definitely blazing fast bio link made your way. So add campsite.bio to any of your social sites now. And guess what? If you use the link in our show notes below and the little code, you get $10 off a pro plan. It's completely free to sign up and try out. But if you want to take the next step, get the pro plan, which I highly recommend. You get $10 off using the coupon code and the link in our show notes. Amanda Sharp, any last words on our friends from campsite.bio?
You just kill it when you do all that. And I just want to reiterate how easy it is. 5 minutes or less, you got yourself a customizable link that you can put where you only have so much real estate. Like on IG, you have room for one link. Let it be this that sends everybody to all your other resources. So we love campsite.bio and we thank you for being our sponsor.
Absolutely. 100%. So thank you so much. And thank you all for listening and supporting our sponsor. Yes. All right, let's get back into the show. Here we go. Your number 2 song, To Me.
Yes.
I got to tell you this. Shocker, another shocking. I had never heard the song or this band. Leave the Pieces by the Wreckers. Now, I got to tell you, 2 things. You're not sure that I was a little worried when I heard so much fiddle in the beginning. Sometimes too much fiddle, I get nervous. I hear
gotta have a fiddle in the band.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a fiddle in a band. I respect the instrument, but sometimes there's a little too much fiddling.
Understood.
Sometimes it's a little too much, and I'm like, I don't know. Am I gonna get fiddled out of this song? But I was not
fiddled out of this song.
But I was not fiddled out of this song. I was not fiddled out. I actually didn't realize Michelle Branch was in this.
Yes.
This was
very interesting, right?
Really interesting. And I will tell you that there was another thing about this song that I noticed. I don't know if most people notice it. So for anybody out there listening right now who's into music, if you're listening live, let me know if you guys know the song and if you feel the same way I do. I felt like the song had a lot of Led Zeppelin influence to it. When you take out the fiddle, but I'm serious, when you listen to the chord progressions and the way it's played, it feels very much something off of Led Zeppelin 3, by the way, which Led Zeppelin 3 is a little bit more of a rock folk record. And I felt like this had a lot more Zeppelin undertones to it than I think most people.
Interesting.
I don't know if I'm the only one to ever notice that, but I listened to this song a few times and I said, this sounds a little bit like, hey, what can I do? That off of Led Zeppelin 3.
Interesting.
I think that's off Led Zeppelin 3. Anyway, I like this song. I'd never heard it before.
That is amazing.
And I liked it. And then when I did the deep dive, deep dive, I realized I was like, wow, Michelle Branch was in this. So Michelle Branch, according to Songfacts at the time, had put her solo career on hold in 2004 and formed a country music duo called The Wreckers with her good friend Jessica Harp. They had their debut album ready to go in 2005, but their label, Maverick Records, was in flux, which caused delays. The album Stand Still Look Pretty finally appeared in 2006 with Leave the Pieces issued as the first single. Both the single and album went gold, but the delays and record label dysfunction took a toll on the duo, who by 2007 weren't on speaking terms. That stinks. After finishing their tour, shrouded in a cloud of conflict, they split up. The pair didn't patch things up until 2017 when Harp appeared on stage at one of Branch's shows. This song was written by Billy Austin and Jennifer Hansen. It's a heartbreaker. The singer knows it. It's working it out with her guy, and she asks him to call it off so she can move on. She had just one request: leave the pieces when you go. This was a #1 country hit for her on this record. This was a #1. So is this a one-hit wonder? Well, if you're going to say it's a one-hit wonder for the Wreckers,
yeah,
it's a one-hit wonder for the Wreckers.
And it's unfortunate that the delays and kind of the debacle with the company caused some of probably the drama that led to them kind of breaking up as a duo, because you think of how excited you are. You want to, just move on and promote. And if you can't do that, I mean, the stress of that had to be significant.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, listen, it's never easy, right? And then you got to go on and put a show on and perform, and and it's, listen, you're a professional, right? You got to go out, you do what you're supposed to do. People paid money, like they don't care about your personal problems, like But I get it's hard. I mean, you're an artist, you're creative, and sometimes that tension works and creates beautiful music, and other times it's too difficult. So yeah, it's sad to hear, because I think that I would have liked to kept hearing more from them. I found this song interesting. Like, I liked that. Once again, I don't know if I'm the only one to notice it, but I was like, wow, I definitely hear some like Zeppelin-esque tones in here when I listen to that song closer. And I think for anybody that listens to Zeppelin or, anything in that genre or like around that time, I think if you listen to this song, I think you're going to hear it too. If you can get by the fiddle playing. No, I'm just kidding. I got nothing against the fiddle. I like the fiddle. I think sometimes it's very overused in some of these country songs to a point of like obnoxiousness and completely overpowers the song. I think everybody can agree with me. Sometimes the fiddle is a completely overused instrument.
Fair.
And oftentimes not mixed very well into these records, and completely takes over a song.
Yeah, it has its place in country music, but with certain country songs. So I agree. Like, every country song doesn't have to have a fiddle, and I think sometimes by default it goes in there. And I like the edge of this song very much so. Yeah,
it definitely has a rock, I said, rock feel to it. So I like this song. It would not be skipped.
Ooh.
It would not be skipped. In fact, I even took the extra step of liking it on Spotify.
Woo, look at Crisco.
I pressed that little heart and I liked it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I like the song. I think it's really good. I don't think it's a 5, but it's definitely a 4. 100% a 4.
I agree with that. I agree with that tremendously.
Yeah, I think it's a really, and it may turn into a 5 for me at some point, but it's a solid 4 for me. I mean, I think it's a cool song. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to dive into the whole record or EP or whatever this, I want to check it out more, because I'm like, ooh, this is cool. Hopefully, if they respect the fiddle levels as they did in the song. I'm not going to lie, I got a little nervous. I was like,
now I got to go re-listen to everything.
A whole lot of loud fiddle in this beginning. And then it
settled down.
It settled down.
Hey, 4 records though would Leave the Pieces. I'll take it.
Yeah, I may even go to a 4.5.
Ooh, I mean, it's got a lot of good elements.
Thinking about it even more now, I'm like, it's catchy too. So,
it is catchy.
I'm gonna go 4.5. I'm gonna amend.
Okay.
Let the record.
Look at you go.
State show. I don't know. I'm amending my report to a 4.5. That's my rating.
I like
4.5.
that. Hey, Leave the Pieces by the
Leave
Wreckers.
the Pieces by the Wreckers.
4.5.
All right.
I like it. All right. So Chris.
My fifth and final song.
Okay. So this was the only one of the three I didn't know.
Okay. So once again, wasn't sure because it's hard when we're talking about one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
It's difficult because they usually will play them all over, and it's just sometimes it's hard to escape them.
But this one was a little bit more edgier than what I probably would have been listening to on the radio. Like, I don't feel like I would have been listening to stations that would have had this. Because to your point, like, To Be With You by Mr. Big was played so much everywhere, not just in one lane. And same with Smooth Criminal even to some degree. But this one, there's a niche to it.
That's right. There is a niche to this one. The Vines Get Free, by the way.
Oh, I'm so sorry if I didn't say that. Oh, hello.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes,
the Vines Get
the
Free.
Vines.
No, there's definitely a niche to this one.
So not having heard it before isn't, I guess, a tremendous shocker. But I don't dislike the song.
It's a cool song. This came out in a time, in a world. In a world where there was this quote unquote, whatever you want. At the time, it was called the Garage Rock Revival. And bands like the Hives and the Vines. And in fact, I remember on MTV Video Music Awards that year, they had like the Hives versus the Vines. And they did like this whole, they both played their hit songs at the time.
Bees versus the Leaves.
And this was their hit song, this Get Free, which is reached number 7 in the US. They're an Australian band. This is their only hit song in the United States.
In the States.
This is a song that if you pretty much go to any sporting event, you will still hear played. I still hear it when I go to hockey games. You'll hear it usually on power plays, things like that. They'll play it. It's still played a lot. I think it's considered more of like sort of like a sports like thing now and all that. But it was a big song back in the day, and it was like this like short-lived, like for like maybe about a year, I'd say, like this whole garage rock revival with a bunch of like the White Stripes were kind of involved in that. There was a bunch of other bands that I'm escaping my mind, but I remember that were all kind of just blew up around that time, and then it was like gone. And the Vines were like one of those bands.
There's something about this. I don't know. Like, why is this one a hit?
It's just, you know what I think it was too? It was 2002. It's got a lot of like rough, it's got Nirvana-esque kind of sounds. I mean, his voice, even like the video when you watch it, there's some Kurt Cobain vibes there.
Okay.
And I think it was just, it had been a long time. Like Nirvana had been gone for a while. And I think it was just one of those things where people were really like yearning for something that sounded like, and it just came out. And it just came out at the right time and hit the mainstream at the right way when people were kind of like looking for something that had this like punky edge, but not true punk, but like raw sounding. And the song just hit. It hit. And, like I said, it didn't last very long, but it was a hit. And like I said, at least around here, you still hear it played in like arenas and stadiums and things like that. So it's kind of lives on in that realm of like jock music.
Sure. And I feel like this song, I hear it and I go, this isn't a terrible song. I don't love the song, but I don't dislike the song. So I'm okay with the song. And if I'm being honest, I'm going to give it like a 3.5 probably, just as a song itself.
Listen, and that's fine. Not every one-hit wonder, I think, is a great song. I mean, sometimes you ask that question, like, how did this become a hit? Like, how is this a hit song? Like,
that's where, like, because usually when you hear a song, even if you don't like a song, you can see where there had been elements that made it a hit or a one-hit wonder. Right. There was something about it that you go, I could see why this was catchy, or it was overplayed during the daddy-daughter dance, something like that, that caused it to be more successful artificially, potentially. But this one, I'm just going, wow, for this to be like more of a one-hit wonder, the elements are a little shocking that I don't feel like they're there to have gotten it there. But I think if you know that backstory, like you just said, like there was a void that I think people were wanting to have filled, and
yeah, I mean, a lot of times these songs are a product of their time, and you know, I mean, I can remember to a point of this, and they were definitely a buzz band. There's a lot of buzz around them, and I think everybody just kind of christened them as like the next coming of like rock, you know. And I think people really wanted them to be Nirvana, to be perfectly honest with you, and they just weren't. And when you actually listen to the rest of this record, it's like doesn't even sound like this song. So like,
makes sense.
You know, it just, they weren't like a band that, I don't think, you know, if I can remember, because I haven't even listened to this whole record in a while, the whole record doesn't sound like this song. And I think that kind of was like, well, let's everybody calm down. These guys are not really the next coming of Nirvana. They have one really cool song, and it's a cool song, and that's kind of it. And, you know, and hey, here today, gone tomorrow type of thing.
Absolutely. I don't think people connected to, like, I'm not really connected to it in the way that some of the other songs that you fed me are. So it's just interesting because I don't think I would have put that on the formula of it being a successful one-hit wonder. So, hey.
Yeah, it's one of, right? When you hear some of the songs, you're like, wait a second, this was a hit? Yeah, it was a hit. It had its moment in the sun for a little bit, and that was it.
Which, again, we would take. So we're not knocking any of these songs.
No.
We want to be very clear about that. So 3 records.
All right, 3 records. Okay, so your next song to me, which is your final song to me.
Yes,
this was like, I can't believe this was see, we're talking about it now. First of all, I'd never heard this song in my life. Second of all, I can't believe this song was a hit.
I don't argue that, but is it not fun?
It's fun, but never would have thought. I mean, it's a weird song. Like, so this is, by the way, we're talking about Jeannie C. Riley's Harper Valley PTA. Jeannie C. Riley's Harper Valley PTA, released in 1968, charted number 1 in the United States and number 12 in the UK.
And she said, Mama,
you know, women feel this.
Listen, I get it. I get it, because I love the story behind. I mean, the lyrics are fantastic. They tell such a great story.
And you know what this is really reminiscent of? So Ashley Feller, we did her review of St. Andrew's Jezebel.
St. Andrew's Jezebel.
And I feel like the storytelling is kind of very similar between the 2 songs. I kind of put it in the same category as that, where you can't help but appreciate it, though.
Yeah, I'd never heard it before. I really haven't. I see Dave Mattingly checking in with Chris has never heard this. It was everywhere for years.
It started.
Nowhere
I was
listening.
Enough of that.
Nowhere I was listening. So, it's a weird song, but I will say I do like the story aspect of the song. So I was like, I instantly have to find out the story, like what's true, what is.
Yeah.
So basically, according to songfacts.com, the country singer Margie Singleton asked Tom T. Hall to write her a song similar to Ode to Billy Joe, which she had covered the previous year. After driving past a school called Harper Valley Elementary School in Bellevue, Tennessee, he noted the name and wrote Harper Valley PTA about a fictional confrontation between a young widow, Stella Johnson, and a local PTA group who objected to her manner of dress, social drinking, and friendliness with the town's menfolk. Jeannie C. Riley, who was working as a secretary in Nashville for Jerry Chestnut, got to hear the song and recorded it herself, and it became a massive hit for her. It's like crazy. Tom T. Hall is known as a country music storyteller and has racked up a number of solo hits, including 7 number 1 country hit singles. In 1974, he had a number 12 pop hit in the States with I Love, a sentimental list of things he likes. He recalled The Boot in a 2001 interview that the song was based on a true story. This is just crazy. Like, this won the 1968 Grammy Award for Best Country and Western Vocal Performance. It was also voted Single of the Year by the Country Music Association.
Chris is like, the nuts and bolts of this do not add up.
It just this had the biggest. This at the time had the biggest chart leap in American history, going from number 81 to number 7 in 1 week. This proved to be Riley's only major pop single, though she had future success on the country charts. In the mid-70s, Riley became a Christian and began recording on God's country label. In 1981, she recorded a gospel record From Harper Valley to the Mountaintop. Throughout the 80s and 90s, she continued to be a popular contemporary Christian recording artist and performing artist. The hit inspired a 1978 film and a 1981 spin-off TV series starring Barbara Eden and Stella. Like,
I'm telling you, a woman hears this song and they're like, it adds up. Like, the dialogue between this is so genius. You're so baffled, Chris.
I am completely baffled by this song because it's just, I understand, like, when I hear the story, I read the lyrics, I get it. I think it's great. I love the point where she stands up, she goes to the PTA meeting, and she basically calls out, you're going to throw me under the bus, well, I'm throwing you all under the bus. Like, perfect. It is the chef's kiss of like, you're going to throw stones at me.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that part of the song. I just blows my mind. I don't know why. I guess, once again, self-admittedly, for those who listen regularly to the show, Chris is not an avid country fan. I'm not immersed in country culture. I'm not like, so the fact that this song to me was such a massive hit, it blows me away.
All right.
But I get it's a product of the time for sure. So 1968, I get it. It's a little racy. Like 1968.
And even in 2023, there are so many women who would love to go in front of a PTA and be like, and you, and you, and you, because throw stones, right?
Absolutely. 100%. And I think you could do that. The new version of this now is TikTok.
It is. And I was going to say, this song, had TikTok existed back then, would have been TikTok viral. And I could see it coming. So I'm challenging myself. Are you ready for this? I believe in myself to get this done. I'm going to go to Kelly Clarkson and say, Kelly, can you please do a new version of this? And I guarantee you this will be a huge hit. And because, like, think of her Since You've Been Gone and all of these, like, her edgy, like, you know, oh yeah. Kelly Clarkson. Because she has her show that she redoes all these songs.
Right.
This is going to be her next one.
Okay.
So Chris is doubting me.
You're starting a petition. I mean, I can see it. I see it too. I just, once again, I'm still shocked at this song. I don't know why I'm so shocked. And the thing is, it's not about the lyrics, because I think the lyrics are fine, although it's 1968. I just would never have pegged this song to be like that big of a hit.
I think of all of the Taylor Swift songs that you go, they're not great, but the edge of the comments, the edge of the lyrics are what makes it successful, because women go,
Yeah. So Dave Mattingly, I think Harper Valley PTA caught on as a folksy song, a story song like The Gambler.
It is. No, I love a good story song.
No, I agree. I like a good story song.
Great point,
too.
Dave.
It's just so funny, like, to me, like what hits and what doesn't.
And so here I'm like, yeah, I don't know, Chris, this Get Free by the Vines, I don't know how that was a hit. And here I'm giving you like one that I think is magnificent. And you're doing the same going,
isn't it funny though, how we did this? Like that and by the way, I got to stress to everybody that we really don't plan these things like this, because we kind of go off in our own worlds and then share our lists before the show, like usually the day or two before the show. And the fact that both of our number 3, our last songs to each other were songs that were like, how did this become a hit?
It's so funny. And Chris, I think this may be the first show that I've given you 3 songs that you did not know. I
did not know any of these songs. Not a single one of them. Not a single one of them. Dave Mattingly, Amanda the Woman Gets Angry at Hypocrisy, genre also led by Goodbye Earl.
Oh, I love Goodbye Earl. Don't choke on those black eyed peas.
Yeah, it's a great music video.
It is. And I love the TikToks that are referring to that. Like, oh, you guys can buy yourself flowers right now. No, we took care of Earl. Like,
so great. We took care of Earl.
Yeah, that's our genre. That's our generation.
Yeah.
All right. So I have some homework to do for this show, and that is to make my idea happen.
Yeah. You gotta make that happen. I mean, you said it on the show. Everybody who listens to the show, by the way, I look at the stats. So there's a lot of people listening to the show. So we need you to hold Amanda accountable on this. All right.
Please do. I'm gonna do a TikTok about this. I'm going to tag Kelly. I'm going to send her a private message. She's going to be like, oh my gosh, it's going to be easier just to sing this song to stop this girl.
Yeah.
She's going to get desperate enough to just do it. I'm convinced. We're at February 13th at the time of this recording.
Okay.
February 13th at 9:15, because we always go way over on these shows because we love them so much. Yeah. You can take it to the bank that as of this day, let's see how long it takes for me to make this happen.
How do you like them apples?
Good challenge for me. I obviously need a new project.
Obviously, you need something new to work on.
Oh, what a way to close up this show.
What a way to close the show. Well, with all of that being said, thank you all so much. Oh, this show's just too much fun.
Hey, did you even rate the song? I don't know that you rated it.
Oh, you know what? I didn't rate the song. Oh my God, I'm ready to do thank yous. I didn't give it a rating. Went through all that to not give it a song rating. So, all right. Will I listen to this song again? Probably not.
Okay.
Do I respect it? Yes, I do. I respect its existence. I respect that. It's obviously influence. Huge hit. Once again, no hits. But I'm going to give it a 3 record because I don't think I would go and willingly listen to the song again. That's just me. Doesn't mean the song's not. Doesn't mean the song's bad. It's not Uptown Girl quality. Thank God. Still not as corny as Uptown Girl. It gets 3 records.
I'm
being honest. I just can't see myself ever listening to the song really again in the sense of going and choosing to listen to it.
That is okay.
The choosing of listening to it doesn't mean if it comes on our playlist and all that. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily. I don't know. I don't think I would skip it. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on a skippable part.
The storytelling element of it is probably what gives it a chance for you.
I do enjoy the storytelling element. I think it's great. So that gets 3 records.
You know what's amazing is this went number 1, as you referenced, that many people listened to it and appreciated it to make it a number 1 song. That just shows.
I agree.
How people were feeling internally at that moment of 1968. Yeah.
I mean, it topped both the pop and country charts. And I will say first song by a female country artist to achieve that feat, by the way. So kudos for all that. So all that stuff is not lost on me, but I'm not talking about the accomplishments and all that. Like, none of that is lost on me. I'm just talking about the song itself. And would Chris choose to listen to this song again willingly? I don't think so. It's not my thing, but I respect it. And I think the lyrics are good and I like the story. I'm just not sure I would go back and willingly listen to it on my own.
This needs a 2023 version.
I don't even know if it's that. I don't know. I'd have to see. Let me hear Kelly Clarkson's version.
There we go. You got it. Yeah. Oh, big dreams. Big dreams, big songs on this episode of the Chris and Amanda Song Swap Showdown.
Oh, yeah. Setting the bar high.
Setting the bar high. Yeah. If you're new here and you made it this long, you're welcome.
We think. Yeah. All right, everybody. It's now a real sign off since I did a fake out. Did the fake out. Real sign off. All right, everyone. Well, we really appreciate you all for hanging out with us today. Thank you to Mark and Ashley and Dave for chilling on the live feed and participating. And for anybody else who was on the live feed but didn't want to comment, that's totally okay. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to hang out with us. And thank you to everybody who is checking out the replay of this, whether it's on YouTube or you're listening to the audio version wherever you get podcasts. We appreciate you sincerely for choosing to spend some of your precious, precious time listening to us rate songs and review them.
And be obnoxious.
Yeah, and be obnoxious. When you could be listening to something like NPR or something educational, you're listening to us. So we appreciate that choice. Don't think it's lost on us. But with that being said, everyone, thank you all so much. And we will see you next time on another episode of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown. Make sure you like, follow, share wherever you're getting the show. Have a great one, everybody. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
To get notified every single time we drop a new episode of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown, just hit that follow button wherever you get your podcasts. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the show, please use the email address in our show notes and we'll get right back to you. And last but not least, please feel free to follow us over on our social accounts on Instagram and TikTok at Song Swap Showdown, or join our ever-growing community in our Facebook group by using the link in our show notes. Thanks for listening.